Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Today we are going to decorate my work planner, the schedule portion. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to use my Plan birthday month florals for the month of September, which I think is, let's see, Aster. Okay, well, new to me, but that's what we're gonna do. And yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it. So let me go ahead and pull these out, and then we're gonna get started. So in my schedule, my work schedule, what I like to do is do time blocking, and I list my to-dos and activities at the top. That's how I generally do my work schedule. And I keep it for the most part pretty functional because the time blocking takes up a lot of space. And that's just how it is. So let me go ahead and get my tweezers, and then we are going to get started. So the good thing about Plan books is that most of her books, especially her florals, will often have coordinating boxes. And so you see the color scheme for Aster, and then she has some coordinating boxes to go with those florals. So that is what I'm going to use. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started with these kind of these really big boxes to go at the bottom of my layout for the week. Okay guys, so well, that covers up a lot of space, so I'm going to actually take this all the way to the bottom this time. It won't cover up quite as much space. All right, have a little bit of a wrinkle here. Let me smooth it out. Okay, and I'm going to do this to the other side. Okay, I am really hoping that for me, the week of September 8th starts to calm down as far as my weekly schedule. It has been kind of crazy already for the month of September. And it just kind of carried over. Have a lot of stuff going on, in my, that's not on here straight, so let me see if I can fix this. A lot of stuff going on in what I call my 9 to 5, which is just my regular job, you know, and then a lot of stuff, content planning for Planning by Eva, and, you know, shop stuff for that. So it's just been a really busy September already, so I'm hoping that this week starts to calm things down. All right, this looks good. Okay, so I, believe it or not, am going to go ahead and start putting in some functional boxes at the top because, like I said, I keep most of this space for my time blocking. So I really only use like big florals, and then I come in and I do time blocking in the center. So let me go ahead and put some functional boxes at the top. Like I said, I have a lighter, well, I don't know how light it's going to be, but my Monday is not very busy. I do know that. So I am going to do a checklist on Monday because that means I can get some stuff done. So I'm going to go ahead and do a checklist for Monday. And then Tuesday and Wednesday is going to pick up the pace just a little bit. So I am going to do a double box on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I will tell you that Tuesday tends to be a little bit busier than Wednesday. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can put a separate box on Wednesday as well underneath this one. Yeah, I'm going to do a separate box that will layer underneath that double box. Repurpose a month. Oops, trying to get it down straight, you guys. Okay, that way I'll have some space to write on Tuesday and Wednesday. My goal at the top is to have a space every day to write something if I need to write it. So that's just how I kind of do it. So Tuesday and Wednesday is the middle of the week, typically very busy as far as my regular job. And then I tend to pick up a lot of Planning by Eva stuff over the weekend. So Thursdays is a little bit of a transitional day. So let's see. I will do a box here, but I don't know. I think I'll just do a label with some bullet points, because I really don't know. Like I said, it's kind of a transition day, which means I don't know everything I'm going to be doing on this day. That's what that means. I could have my regular work stuff could roll over and just completely wash out my Thursday, or I could have a lot of free time that I can do Planning by Eva stuff. Who knows? Who knows, right? So I try to keep it flexible on that day. Let's see. So then we have Friday and Saturday, and I'm going to do another double box. Well, no, I'm going to do another double box on, I'm going to do another double box on Friday and Saturday. I was going to do it on Saturday and Sunday, but I'm not going to do that to myself, because I said I wanted to try and keep Sunday as a no work day if I can. So if I plan to work on Sunday, then that's not trying to keep it as a no work day. If I have to come in and work on Sunday, I will. But, you know, I want that to be a day of rest. That's what it's intended to be. So that's what I want it to be. Okay, so over on this side, I am probably going to do a quote. I usually always do a quote, and I generally like to do a header box down here. So we're going to do that, and then I'll probably do some bullet points. I think I have space for one more. What's my other color? Pink. They're crooked, but that's okay. See if I can move these over just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so that looks good. Sometimes I do a whole box here, but I don't think I want to do a whole box this time. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put a header, because I have so many boxes on this side already. I feel boxed up, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a green header right here. Okay, that looks good. That way I can use this space however I want. And then, you know what? I like to put the month in this planner in this layout whenever I run across, whenever I use these, birthday month stickers. So that way I know what sticker belongs to what. And they have these. They don't have any small months though. Okay, let me see. It's a little bit too big to put here. It wouldn't have been if I wouldn't have put this box here. So maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll lift up that box and see if I can use it someplace else. And then I rarely use whiteout in my planner, but in this case I am, because I just want to today. If you haven't noticed, I am really not a fan of using whiteout under clear stickers. It's just not a look that I like. Because I can usually still see the whiteout underneath the sticker, and that irritates me. I know for some people, you know, it's a must. It's just not a must for me. This is not going to be centered, but you know what? That's okay. Yeah, see what I mean? I can still see the white out there, and that irritates me more than if I saw the black stuff. the black writing. It just does. It's just a thing for me, and it just does. Let's see if I can put this here. If that makes sense to put there. I don't care if it makes sense. I need a label, so I'm going to put it there. Well, it'd make better sense if it was straight. All right. Okay. So this looks great. I think what I'm going to do now is find a quote to go over here. Oh wait, no, I need to put my, I have a birthday, you guys, that's coming up this week. It's not my birthday, but it's a family member's birthday. So I'm going to put that right there. Now I'm going to find a quote. And I've said before, I love these quote books because you can just, it's a ton of quotes in here and you can just find a quote that you need. I'm going to look for black, although this book does have some purple and stuff, but I have enough purple and green in this spread. So when I go through these books though, I tend to look for, I like this Stronger Than the Storm. I tend to look for quotes that fit the size of the space. And then once that catches my eye, I read the quote to see if I like it for whatever is going on in my life. To me, that's how I navigate these major quote books, because there's so many quotes. There's no way that I know what every quote in here says. I don't. So I just kind of glance through, and if it's too large for the space, then I move on, and then I just look at things that fit the space. I will say, I love this book from Caliber Plan, although some of the quotes are just a little bit too wordy for me, like these. This is very wordy, and that just looks like congested, like in that small space. But it's nice to have these quotes. So this is a good book. I use it a lot. Anywho, this looks great. The next thing I want to do is find some highlighters. I know I want to do purple because that's obvious, and then a green. Hopefully I can find a green that'll work. I may need to test 2 greens, and then maybe, I don't really have any pink, but I have a little bit of this yellowish green, which I actually had a really nice, I think this is going to be the best green. And let's see, I think I might use a tan color. All right, so let me get a swatch book, a piece of paper. I had this booklet on my desk to use for something else, and now I feel like it'll be perfect to use for swatching my highlighters. I think that will fit, but it feels a little too bright for me. Let me try this one. Yeah, I think I like this one. This is a little bit paler. All right, and then I want a green. Okay, see, this green is nice. That green is a little too bright. This green is really pretty. All right, we're gonna go with these 3. Okay, let's put this back. Looks good. So when I time block, I just come in and I block off the times when I focus on a certain task, and I do 3 sections. So that's why I have 3 highlighters. I block off time for my regular job, for my content planning business, like my PBE, my Planning by Eva and genealogy stuff, and then my well-being. So for this week, I am going to use green for my regular job. And I'm going to, I don't have a lot of meetings on Monday, but I will have a super packed day, and I am going to focus hard in the morning. Take advantage of not having meetings. That's what I'm doing. Tuesday, unfortunately, I'm going to do more focus work in the afternoon. I have meetings in the afternoons on Tuesday. I do not enjoy meeting in the afternoons. And then On Wednesday, I'm going to focus in the morning, and then on Thursday, I'm going to do some morning focus stuff. And then Friday, more morning focus. Okay, that looks good. So what I do when I block this in my mind is that I'm kind of going through my schedule that I know, especially for my regular job, right? I keep my activities obviously in my regular job space. So that's online. I don't keep that in a paper planner. I have to keep that in my work systems. So as I fill out these blocks, I'm just thinking of that schedule and figuring out where I have meetings, where I have some open blocks that I can really focus on projects and tasks that I have going on. And that's what determines where I put my blocks. I try to have some consistency from week to week because I work best with consistency. That's me. That's my personality. If I can have my meetings on certain days around the same time, that's when you heard me say I don't like to meet in the afternoons. I prefer my meetings to be in the mornings. Just that type of consistency is what I'm saying. It helps me find balance in my life a little bit better. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking of when I'm doing those highlights. So now I'm going to take another highlighter and I'm going to come in and I'm actually going to do highlighter for, I'm going to use this for well-being. Let me do well-being. So I just really need to do better with this. I really do. By this, I mean well-being stuff. So I would like to go to the gym during my lunch break if I can. That is going to be a goal of mine. At one point, I did really well with that, and I just haven't been able to get back on that cycle. And I prefer to do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then, of course, over the weekend, I like to do things outside of the gym for my well-being, whatever that may be. Saturday is a big Planning by Eva work day for me. So in the mornings, that's what I focus on. And then I tend to come in and do well-being stuff in the afternoon. And then Sundays, I prefer to do well-being stuff in the mornings. Self-care, spiritual study, things like that. Because well-being, of course, is more than just physical. It's your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, your intellectual well-being, your spiritual, all that stuff. All right, so now I'm going to come in and do Planning by Eva, which is very heavily skewed toward the weekends. I actually need to start moving this block down a little bit because where I film, I have a craft room where I film, and the direction it's facing, it gets direct sunlight early in the morning, but it creates all these weird shadows, and I just can't edit those out. So I usually can't start filming until I would say after about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And you know, it takes a few hours to film, so I need to start moving that block around probably. Okay, I might have some time. No, I really don't have time Friday. Sometimes I will have time, or have been finding myself having some time Thursday afternoons. I am still in the process of updating my products, so I'm still working some extra blocks during the week to make that happen. I'm excited about that though, you guys. Most of my planners have some changes coming to them, and that's why I'm doing some updates to all of my inserts. Before I talk about that, let me tell you, I now come in and I label these boxes, and I usually do an outline with them. So let me grab a pen so that I can do some labeling and outlining. I think I'm going to use this one. Okay, so I think this was my well-being. I feel like, yeah. Okay, let me go ahead and label that, and then I'll come back and label all of them. All right. So yeah, most of my planners have some pretty major updates for Q4/2026, and I'm excited about it. I've really enjoyed this process. I'm rolling out a completely new budget planner. That's the biggest one, and I've actually spent hours upon hours working on that. I've spent the most time working on that, actually. I'm not really rolling out anything new for my business or my content planner, which is what you see here, my work planner. Except I am actually. I am creating my own hourly insert. I'm so excited to roll that out to you guys. And so that's a big change. So right now I'm using a Happy Planner hourly, or actually a Work Plus Life planner. And so, I am going to be printing my own hourly, really, because I want more space, like more. This goes from 7 to 7, and I need more time than that. So I decided to print my own. I am also phasing out my vertical for my content. I know that's probably going to come as a shock because I love using that vertical, that Kelva Plan vertical for my content planning. Oh my gosh, that has been so beneficial. I'm still keeping the monthly calendar piece of it. But the weekly, as much as I enjoy planning in it, I enjoy decorating it, but I'm doing duplicate work in it, right? Like I don't need to make a list of my list of my list of my list is what that is. And that's kind of what I'm doing with that. I keep that information somewhere else, somewhere that's more efficient. In my planner, you see me, when I go through my walkthroughs, you see that I keep my content information in several places. Content development information in several places. And so I am focused on doing things that improve efficiency and productivity. I mean, that is the point of planning, right? And so as much as I love working in that vertical, I think it's time for me to phase it out, at least for this quarter, and see how it works with me phasing it out. If it gives me too much anxiety, then I'll just, bring it back. So that's a big change. And then of course I've just kind of updated my work inserts. Okay, so this is filled out with my time blocking. So basically, like I said, I block my time. And then I use color coding to help me identify what blocks go with which tasks. Now I'll just come in and put a few extra stickers throughout. These look like the same. Oh, they are the same. Look at me. I'm going to put a few extra decor stickers throughout this layout. And that pretty much is going to be it for this spread. Okay, that looks good. Not much is needed over here, honestly, because this is taken up pretty well. All this space is used. I'm going to put something there, and then I need something here. Okay, so where am I going to use the rest of this sticker? Let's find a spot. I think up here at the top. That's good. Okay, so there's not much in this book other than florals. And I love that. I purposely bought the birthday florals because I like seeing all these florals. And I've tried to use it every month. Been pretty good at using it every month. Now, sometimes I can't use up all the stickers in the month, and that's just, you know, what it is. I mean, I'll just save it for the next year. Okay, we are in September. So I am going to put this vase of flowers somewhere. Probably over here. I was going to put it here, but this already says September and Aster, and this says September Aster. So I'm going to put it over here. Oops. Okay, I like that. I still want to put something there. So I don't think there's anything else. I have a birthday on the 9th. I probably should have moved that birthday down. You know, I think I can put a bunch of, just find a bunch, like a bunch of florals, like right here. This little bouquet. I'm gonna put this bouquet here and call that a day. As I was saying, you don't have many options with this birthday floral book, but I love that. Because the intent of the book is to have all birthday florals. So you don't have icons or anything like that. And I didn't want to use like 3 or 4 different books to make this spread. I try to do my books, if you haven't noticed, out of, try to do my layouts out of 1, maybe 2 books. Generally, the second book is a book of boxes or functionality or something like that. Because it just, I don't know. I see people using like 5 or 6 books on their layouts, and it just seems a little unrealistic to me when these books are so expensive. So I try to use one as often as I can. And also, I'm not the most creative person, so using one book helps keep me in a certain color theme or color scheme or decorating theme. And since I'm not the most creative person, I really rely on the book to help me pull everything together. That's a good trick if you are new to decorative planning. Anyway, this is the layout for the week of September 8th. Like I said, I hope it gets less busy for me this week. I'm going to go ahead and pop this back into my planner. And that is it. For this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a happy week planning.